want to thank you for coming into the lesson and subscribing. And we see that you do value wisdom, and we pray that the wisdom you receive will take you to new levels. Let's get into page number 1, the first page. I want to just dive straight into this lesson. This lesson is about general wisdom that we want you to think about and ponder on if you're going to succeed, if you're going to achieve your goals. Number 1, the first one there, we wrote, what you do consistently determines what you become. And the operative word for this year that I want you to work on is consistency. Somebody say with me, consistency. All right. And we will talk a lot about your day, because if you can perfect a day, you can perfect a week. If you can perfect a week, you can perfect a month. If you can perfect a month, you can perfect 3 months and a whole year. All right, so we are looking specifically at this year, how we want to achieve what we failed to achieve in the past. But the first thing is you need to do consistent things right. It's not one-off practices that will yield results, but it's consistency. The second key I wrote there is successful people get out of bed early. And this year I want you to check your sleeping patterns. Check your sleeping patterns. I wrote somewhere in your notes there that I want you to reduce your sleeping hours, because sometimes we just sleep too many hours. Medical practitioners tell us that you need a minimum of 8 hours, and I think 8 hours is a minimum and a maximum. And I think anything beyond that, you're just wasting valuable time. So we need to get out of bed early. Big bosses get out of bed early. Successful people get out of bed early. Be willing to make painful changes, because there are things that, sometimes we can get into a rut and we don't want to change certain things in our lives. You can get the prompting of the Spirit to change certain things and shift certain things. And sometimes we don't change because it's where we are is comfortable. But comfort will never birth success. And I think you might need to jot that down somewhere in your notes. Comfort, remaining in a place of comfort, will not really birth the true success that you want and that you need. Change is painful, but you've got to make the changes. And the person who has to make the changes is you. And I think it's good to, just look at your life. It's all good sometimes to make resolutions for the year, that this year we want to achieve this, we want to achieve that, and we must do that, looking ahead. But I believe we must also look in the past and see what did we do wrong, to be brutally honest with oneself and say, where did I fail? And what could I have avoided? Or what could I have done better in the previous year? And that brings me to the next point, which is asking yourself the hard questions. I don't know, maybe sometimes I think I'm a bit tough on myself, but I like to ask myself hard questions. The questions that, I'm annoyed if someone else asks me. I like to ask those questions, ask myself the hard questions. Is this the best you can do? That's a hard question. That's a difficult question. And these are things that if we're going to really succeed the way we want to succeed in this year, we must ask ourselves the hard questions. Is what I'm doing really necessary? Can I do without this that I want to buy? These are hard questions. Is it really necessary? Am I not duplicating? Do I really need another suit? Do I really need another holiday in the middle of the year? Is it really necessary? And these are hard questions that one must ask themselves if we're going to achieve our goals. Remember, money takes on the character of the person holding it. I don't want you to change because you are now on another level financially. And that happens to many, many people. Many, many people. I mean, money takes on the form of the character of the person holding it. Money in the hands of a preacher is gospel preaching money. Money in the hands of a drug dealer is drug dealing money. Money in the hands of a pimp is pimping money. When money is in your hands, same $100 bill that was held by the preacher, what form does that money take? Because one of the things the Lord taught me early in my life was that money is an amplifier. It just amplifies who you are. It just speaks louder about who you are. And I don't want money to control you as a person and as an individual. It mustn't control you. You must not allow money to change you. Your core values must not change because you have money. Because if that is so, then your destruction is near as money comes into your hands. And so it's so important that you embrace this key. How much do you plan to put into God's kingdom? That's kingdom budget. Giving budget. That must be something that is food for thought for the year. This year, myself and my wife, we plan to give so much to the kingdom. Minimum. And if God does ABC, we'll do more for the kingdom. It's something that, must be in your, it must be in your train of thought. It's things that you must ponder on and that you must purposefully plan to do. The Bible says in Psalm 90 verse 12, it tells us redeeming the time for the days are evil. Every minute you waste is gone. Every day you waste is gone. And I want you this year to make sure that you are not going to be a time waster. There's no time that you are going to waste. You will make maximum use of all the time that you get. Maximum use. I was listening to the radio the other day, and the girls on the breeze were saying, I think it was Ayati who said, don't waste a weekend. And now she could have meant it in a carnal sense, but I took it in a positive sense. That the weekend literally is like 2.5 days. The whole of Sunday, the whole of Saturday. And by Friday lunchtime, really nobody wants to work, to be honest. And it's amazing how much time we're losing just into the weekend, right through the weekend. How productive is your weekend? And it's so important that there must be some productivity time even in the weekend. Yes, it's important to rest, but there's a time when you rest until you're tired of resting. And I think it's important that we use our weekends well. And I think you'll find that somewhere in your notes. And redeeming the time for the days are evil. Have you ever seen how time slips through your hands? Can you believe it? A month is gone. It's gone. Just like that. Mwezi watopera. First month. And the Lord revealed something to me, and I had never seen it from this perspective. He gave me a whole year, in the form of like a 100-meter race. And he said, really, to be frank and to be honest, you have 10 productive months in the year. That's February to November. Yeah, if you think about it. Because January is prep. So it's like, people who are standing at the top of a 100-meter race, they're just preparing, marking out their blocks and, strategizing, how am I going to do this? But the moment you get to February 1, that's like the start of the race. And the first 10 meters is February, 2nd, March, April, May, June, July, until November. December really is celebrating your finish. However you finish. So those 10 months in the year must count. And the problem is we've been counting 12 months. And in December you get frustrated because you can't get anything done. Because by the time you get to the 10th of December, this boss is gone, that one is gone, this one is on holiday, this one is no longer answering their phone, no one wants to part with their money. And you get frustrated. Somebody said 10 months. 10 months. In the whole year. So I pray for your sake that January you've been preparing and preparing well. Say preparing well. Please say it with me. Say preparing well. Preparing well. Okay. So we're talking about just really getting ourselves set for the whole year. I want you this year to think about this and ponder about this small income and big income balance. And I want you to work on that balance very, very seriously. Small income and big income balance. What do I mean? There are times when people just work on very big deals only. And big deals, they generally take a long time. The big ones, they generally take a long time to be fulfilled. And hello? But you need something small that gives you money on a daily basis to to keep you going. And if that balance is not there, the embarrassing thing is that somebody who's working on some very big deals can fail to hold some very small money. Or you get your Zesa switched off for $200-300, and yet you're working on a $1.5 million deal, and people cannot reconcile the two. Why? Because you fail to balance between the big monies and the small monies. In other words, the big streams and the small streams of income. Passive and aggressive streams of income. About investments. Now, investments are passive streams of income. And where you're earning money while you're sleeping, where are the best places to invest your money? And where can you take calculated risks that will yield maximum dividends? Those are passive streams of income. And apart from you just having a bank account, we want you to begin to work on an investment portfolio. And this is so important that you begin to do that. All right? Apart from the aggressive streams of income, which is more of trade, which is what we encourage here. Somebody say trade with me. Say trade. So we, as the children of God, we are encouraged to trade. Anzina Jesu, do business until I come. He was telling them to trade. He was telling them to trade. Be balanced this year. I want you to be balanced. I don't want you to be all about family. All about family, spending all your time with family. You'll be a good husband, but a very poor one. It's good. You must spend time with your family. You must spend time with your wife. But you can't just spend all your time with your wife. You can't spend all your time with your kids. Alright? Church. You can't be doing all church things all the time. Even the pastor doesn't just do church things all the time. And alright? It's good to be sold out. It's good to be sold out to the vision and to want to work for God. But we need a balance. Somebody say a balance. Say with me, say a balance. Okay, so this year we want a balance. We want a strong, good balance between family, church, spouse, relatives, business, etc., etc., etc. Please write this down. I must divide my time well. Divide my time well. The Bible says a false balance is an abomination. A false balance is an abomination. So we must be balanced. A good balance, not a false balance. And if you fail to balance, the wife will be frustrated because you're all about work. If you're always with the wife, then you're not working. Then the finances will be frustrated. Because when I own a wife, you can go to, hello baby, sweetie, what, chichi, touch my ear, what. But there's no income that's coming. Are you getting what I'm saying? Is this making sense to somebody? Alright, say balance. Say with me, balance. Okay. If entering a new dimension, ask questions. And this year is a year where I want people to be asking questions. You are too quiet for someone who wants to go somewhere. I want you to ask questions. Ask relevant questions. Ask powerful questions. The key to life is questions, and I've shared this with you before. The right questions. We must have the right questions asked. For where you're going, you don't know everything. So ask questions. There's nobody here who knows everything. So we must ask questions. And that's part of mentorship. Just make up your mind to do things better and different in this year. And I think one of the biggest traps that people generally fall in is doing things the same, and expecting a different result. And it generally doesn't work. How many can say, Pastor, I'm in a rut. I'm in a rut. And to get out of a rut, you've got to start seeing certain things differently and start doing certain things differently. And it's so important that you get out of that rut. Because when you're in a rut, it's a frustrating place and you're seeing yourself not moving ahead or moving forward. And we've covered the next point already. Every effort you make towards your dream is a positive step towards your harvest. Every step you take towards your dream. Yes, you have a vision, you have a dream that you have, that I want this to come to pass. But literally, every day you must take a step towards that. Even if it's getting some information on the internet during the weekend. Internet is very fast on the weekend because not too many people are using it. So you take that time just to research certain things. You'll be amazed what you can achieve Saturday morning between 8 and 11. You'll be amazed how many things can be achieved in that time. You can't just be watching soccer all the time. Let's maximize the use of our time and take a step towards every day. Never let a day pass by without you taking a step towards your dream. Even if there are people here who are employed somewhere but are also wanting to work on a project, but there must be a step towards that project. Because let's not wait for someday, because someday will not come. Someday is today. Alright? So today, take a step towards what it is that you want to accomplish. And every step that you're taking closer is a step towards your harvest. Remove clutter from your day. And I want you to really understand what I'm saying here. If the enemy cannot remove you from doing what you want to achieve, he can just make sure that you stay in clutter. You understand what I mean by clutter? Clutter is having too many unnecessary things to do. Do you know you can be busy doing snap progress? Things that don't have any addition to your goals or any positive movement towards your goals, but you are busy. Have you ever had a day when you are very busy, the whole day you are busy, but at the end of the day when you check, what did I actually accomplish? You didn't really accomplish anything. So your day was full of clutter. Okay? People must qualify to see you. And I need you to write that down. People must qualify. Access to you shouldn't just be anytime I can just access this person. People must qualify to access you. Because there are people who will come in your life just to waste your time, adding clutter into your life. And it's so important that you structure your day from here on. When you wake up out of the bed, you must know that this is what I'm doing today. You must know. Yes, there are contingency plans, there are other things that will come up during the day. But as you enter your day, you must know that these are the things you want to accomplish in this particular day. And I think the biggest problem is we have not perfected a day. Your success rises and falls on the basis of how many days you can perfect in the year. You have 365 and a quarter days in a year, 64 and a quarter days in a year. How many of those days are you going to perfect? Yes, you can't have all those days perfect. But can you imagine if you had 100 days of perfect productivity, how much financial resources can be released into your life? And so these are things that are so important as we enter the year. I want you to look at your neighbor and say, if you are clutter, I'm removing you from my day. Psalm 33:11 tells us that God has some plans for generations. I'm paraphrasing there. Can you imagine if God plans? God plans. God plans. Have you planned for the year? Or is the year going to take you by surprise again? So if God can plan, we humans must also plan. Long range and short range goals. And if you don't understand long range and short range goals, you'll attempt to achieve long range goals in the short term. And you'll be frustrated. There are things that you want to achieve, but you know that right now I can't achieve this because I need 1, 2, 3, 4 to be in place to achieve that. That's maybe probably a mid-range goal. So there's short range, mid-range, and long range goals. And we'll do a whole study on this as we go throughout the year. But I'm just really easing into the year and just browsing through things. It's really just trying to jog your mind and getting you to think about certain things. So there's a difference between things that can be accomplished this week, things that can be accomplished next month, and things that can be accomplished in 6 years or six months' time, even 2, 3 years' time. But at least those goals, they must be there. They must be there. Alright? They must be there. Which really agrees with the next point. Know that you do not solve all problems overnight. You will not solve problems overnight. And it's important that you get to understand that you won't solve all problems overnight. Especially if you're a person who gets under stress because you have not managed to solve problems just like that. Some problems will take a day, some will take 3 months, some problems will take a year to solve. So you've got to embrace the fact that not all problems will be solved overnight. So patience really is the operative key there in some instances. Alright? To solve problems, it will take discipline, it will take time, and it will take focus. So we must be disciplined to solve certain problems, because we have to keep hitting at some things until they shift. Sometimes you hit something for the first time, it doesn't move. There's a healing that took place in the Bible, that I think it was a man who was getting healed of blindness, and after Jesus did whatever he did, he said to him, "What do you see?" He said, "I see men as trees." And Jesus said, "You need a second touch." And can you imagine if you had left that man like that? The man would have gone around thinking men look like trees. Alright? So some problems will not be solved the first time. So you have to keep hitting it and hitting it again. Are we together? Say persistence. Say persistence. And this year you must really be persistent. Leave no stone unturned this year. Be persistent. Remember, success is intentional and not accidental. You should not be surprised by the time you succeed. Why? Because you were intending on succeeding. You were working on succeeding. So we prosper on purpose. Say we prosper on purpose. Say it again. Say we prosper on purpose. There's a nice breeze coming from there. Thank you. We prosper on purpose. Stretch yourself this year. Stretch yourself this year. Go beyond your norm. What you normally do. Go beyond that. And I think for the most part, humans don't want to stretch themselves. They want easy success. And easy success really just does not exist. It will require a stretching of yourself. Please write this down. Whatever you have failed to do until now, you're not willing to stretch yourself. Whatever you have failed to do until now, you're not willing to stretch yourself. Stretch yourself. You might have to spend a little bit more to get better quality. You might have to spend a little bit more time on whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. So you've got to stretch yourself. Say with me, start with what you have. Sometimes we want to achieve certain things and we are not able to achieve them because we are saying, I don't have the financial muscle, as it were, to achieve that thing. But not everybody started with big capital. Please write that down. Not everybody started with big capital. Actually, some of the biggest corporations today started with very little capital. And we must embrace the principle of building slowly. Building slowly. And we're in an economy where it's not very easy to unlock monies from financial institutions. And so this principle is a very important principle, and it's a biblical principle. Whenever Jesus got ready to do a miracle of multiplication, he would ask them one question: what do you have in your hand? What do you have in your hand? So you must see what is at hand and begin to work with what is at hand. You want to start a shop? Start selling in a boot. Because that's how much capital you have. Yeah, you want to sell, you want a shoe shop? Start selling 3-4 pairs. Askana to take some boots. I'm bringing them to you. I want to show you those shoes. You start there. Are you getting what I'm saying? We start there. Start with where you are and build on it. Build on it. Build on it. So you start with small capital. Don't wait for the big capital to come before you start, because you might just not start. Alright? Little capital with great drive produces big results. And this is a powerful, powerful principle. Powerful principle. And I think sometimes it's good to have lack, because it drives you to achieve more. Sometimes when you have too much of everything, you just relax to the extent that you are not pushing anymore, you're not striving anymore. Get rid of all excuses for this year that caused your failure. Just for 1 minute, I want you to ask your neighbor to give you 3 excuses that they had last year. Just 3 excuses that they convinced themselves that these excuses are good enough. 1 minute, talk to your neighbor. Were the excuses good enough? They were an embarrassment. Alright. Be innovative. Innovation is key. And to be innovative, we might have to ask God for solutions. New solutions. We need Him to give us new solutions. He says, if any man lacks wisdom, let him ask of God. Yeah? And if you ask Him, He's got powerful solutions. Make up your mind to have excellence this year. In other words, an excellent spirit like Daniel. Whatever you do, do it right the first time. With excellence. You shouldn't have any excuses for the goods that you are supplying. Or the service you are providing. There must be no excuses. Let's get it right, and let's get it right the first time this year. And these are decisions that we must make up front. Train your mind. We must train our minds, our bodies, and our spirits. Let's start with the mind. Is your mind hungry? Or is your mind on the same level it was in 2010? Do you still have the same train of thought that you had before, in the years before? And I think one of the things that really frustrates marriages, for example, is when a man begins to think that his wife is on the same level of thinking that she was before. Some frustration can set in. Canto. Hello? And I'm always encouraging husbands and wives to come together to business class, because I want you to move on the same level. Am I making any sense? Alright, so it's a question that you must ask your spouse. What book are you reading? Because the books you read shape you. You know, if you are reading Living and Loving, all you want to do is to live and to love. But we must have some books that that really train our mind. Say train your mind. Say it again. Say train your mind. This year, a minimum of 2 books a month must be read by you. A minimum, very minimum of 2 books. 2 books outside the Bible. I'll read the Bible. You read the other books. Alright, so we must read. I want you to tap your neighbor and say, read. I want you to have someone in business class who will hold you accountable. And who will push you. And it doesn't work with husbands and wives. So let's throw that right out the window. Because emotions set in. Emotions set in. Alright, so let's find somebody who will hold us accountable. Especially on this issue of reading. So we say train up your mind, and what else? Your body. Everyone in here is going to pick a sport, including me. Everybody. Sex is not a sport. Contrary to popular belief. Sexercise. No, we want real sports that are recognized by the Ministry of the Ministry of what? Sports and culture. Yeah. Alright? Including Mema Sunda, who's looking down. Sport. Everybody, sport. It's amazing how your mind works better when you're fit. I'm being honest with you. And you get tired less. And you can achieve more. You have more energy. Say, this year, I will have more energy. Alright? So we're through with the fast. So there's no excuses. Alright? Pick up a sport. I don't know. Pick up a racket. A ball. Something. No, darts is not a sport. You're just using your hand and your eyes. By the way, no one here can beat me in darts. Unless you're an Olympic champion of some sort. Hand-eye coordination. Say sport. Say sport. Alright, and training the spirit, we do that in church every Sunday and every other Tuesday. Alright, so that one is covered. But your mind, your body, and your spirit. And let's do it diligently. And it. Alright? Buy quality, not quantity this year. Okay? Buy quality. Say with me quality. Say quality. Say no xinjiang. You can't buy something that you don't know when its expiry date is. It can expire anytime. Alright? And it's an important principle because the things you buy must last. And last and last and last. Including cars. We want to start seeing quality cars. Because sometimes people just buy cars, just motor. No, quality. Trouble free. Reliability. Durable. Alright? Do not squander capital. Plow it back into the business this year. And it's so easy to squander capital. I think the African race, we are the ones who are known for not differentiating between capital and profits. Yes and there. Yeah, yes and there is all yours, but there must be a difference between capital and profit. Are we together? Okay, I talked about this already. Cut down on sleeping hours and put the hours towards wisdom, books, tapes, etc. You will win if you do not quit this year. That should actually have been my closing statement, and I don't know why it is there, but that's fine. Say, I will not quit this year. All right. Perfecting your day is so important, eh? Ephesians 5, verse 15 to 16. Very key scripture. At the end of every day, there's a question I want you to ask yourself from here on forward. Was this the best I could do with today? That's a powerful question. Was this the very best that I could do? And I'll take it further and I would say, ask every employee, is this, if you employ people, is this the best that you can do? For what I'm paying you, is this the best you can do? If it's your best, and no problem, I don't have any issues with you, it means I have the wrong person on the job. Alright? So is this the best I can do with today? So every day must count. Please, I really need you to get that in your spirit. Every single day, including Sunday, must count for something. Sometimes you don't get all the time to spend with the kids, so make sure you maximize that Sunday afternoon. Play with them until they are tired of playing with you, until they are running away from you. You have maximized the day. Take them out to the park. I don't know, do something, go to busy game lodge or whatever it is that you need to do with family, but maximize that aspect. And even like in ministry, it's so important that you learn this balance, and I'm glad that the Lord taught me this well, because sometimes in ministry there's a danger of you spending so much time with the things of God and people of God and so on, and at the expense of your family. It's very, very possible. That's why you find that many pastors' children hate the church, because the church represents something that took away their parents. And it's not like that. It's just that they failed to bring the balance. Say, bring the balance. Say, bring the balance. Analyze your day before you enter into it. We spoke about this. Sit down, plan your day to get maximum benefit. Anything you do not plan, you will never get maximum benefit from. It's not possible. Alright? And remember, I've always shared this with you, and I'll share it again. If you are failing to plan, you are planning to fail. And it's very, very key that we embrace this principle. Say planning. Say planning. Alright? Don't waste a day. You'll never get it back. Alright? So never waste a day. you never get it back. Never waste an hour, you never get it back. Do all you do today with passion. Sometimes, we are guilty of not putting in everything into things, We just do things not haphazardly, but without your whole in the morning. Your thinking process is high in the morning. Most major decisions are never done after lunch. Alright? In the morning, make decisions in the morning. Do things that need to be done early in the morning. Alright? And that brings me to your things to do. Indeed, we've spoken about that. There must be a strong things to do list. Next week, please bring your diary. Next week, everybody bring your diary next week. The way some of you are looking at me, it's like you'll be at Kingston's this week buying one. Choose work over pleasure. Sounds simple. But I can tell you what, it can make a big difference in your life. And as Africans, we are more entertainment driven. I can tell you, you'll be amazed how many people chose watching soccer over business class this afternoon. You'll be amazed. Pleasure over wisdom. And these are things that are important. And I think it's a lot of short-sightedness that causes people to choose pleasure over work or over wisdom. Choose productivity over fun. Maybe it's another way to put it. Say productivity. Say productivity. Let's take someone like Ernest, for example, who sells car parts. Let's take that as an example of using your weekends well. On a weekend where people are relaxing and doing all sorts of nonsense, he can take a drive out to Kadoma and go and seal a new deal with a customer in Kadoma and begin to supply them spares. Then next week Tuesday he's off to Joburg to supply that order. He used his weekend well. He chose productivity over fun, while others were at keg and whatever, watching a game live. He was driving back from Kadoma, having sealed a deal. Are you seeing what I'm saying? But sometimes we choose fun over productivity. Alright? Earn the right to be heard with the results people see and admire. And I want everyone here, by the end of this year, you must command some sort of respect because of results. Everybody listens to a man with results. Everyone listens to a man with results. Everyone. I really don't like driving the convertible. I have my own personal reasons. Canto. But today I said, let me just drive the convertible, and I dropped the top. Worst thing I could have ever done. Dropped the top, drove it around. I think I had like 30 people hooting at me on the road between Mandara town and Harare Drive. 20 women winking at me, and ladies with their own husbands in their cars checking me out. And here's my point. Get your mind out of the gutter. Here's my point. Here's my point. Any of those people, and if all the cars stopped on the road and they were asked, find the man who can give you wisdom, they would have come to my car. Why? Because people listen to people with results. That's my point. Now, that's why I said here, you must earn the right to be heard. Don't be emotional because people are not listening to you. Earn the right to be heard. Earn it because of results. Hey, man, I want to tell you. No results. People generally listen to people with results. Why do people listen to America? Results. Why not Zambia? Why is Zambia not there? Why? Okay? Why is it that Africa has to keep listening to the West? Results. We have the resources, but not the results. Okay? So turn resources into results. And people will listen to you. Please write that down. That's a powerful statement. Turn resources into results. It is not good for a man to drive the convertible alone. Stop being alone. Only I can say things like that and get away with them. Stop being alone all the time. If you're a loner, you won't succeed. Alright? And it's important that you're not a loner. I want you this year to get around people, talk to different people. Because different people will give you different perspectives. Give you different perspectives. You know. And don't hang around a zero because they have nothing to add to you. There are people who have nothing to add in your life. They just subtract. In fact, they sap your energy. Alright? So this year I want you to choose who you hang around. Stop hanging around you. Because the information you have is limited. Let's get around other people. Every weekend you and your wife should go out, hang around with another couple. Or something. I don't know. You know, let's talk to people. And when we're there, you know, let's not just talk church stories. Hey, pastor. No, let's talk other things. Pastor, no, let's leave that one alone. How are you guys going to make money this year? Hello? What are you guys planning this year? We're planning this. That's powerful. That's a powerful perspective. We never thought of that. Whereas you could have spent the whole day watching TV until you are bored of watching TV and then you turn on each other now. Let's get out. Let's talk to different people. Get different perspectives. Are we together? Alright? Say different perspectives. And in other words, it could be a year, not necessarily, it could be a year for new friendships. New friendships. These days, I'm very scarce in the office. I'm looking for new perspectives. I'm looking for new opportunities. I'm looking beyond the horizon. And it is. It's a new perspective.